Kia ora ngā hoa ma. Today we're just going to be doing a craft video. So you can see here this is actually an old Pepsi bottle, and I've chopped it in half. Okay, I've separated the middle out. Okay, you can see where the flat spot starts, and I've chopped off the flat spot on this bottle, so they perfectly fit together like that. Okay, and what we're going to be making today is we're going to make a terrarium. The reason why we're making a terrarium is in my class at the moment we're learning about the water cycle, and a terrarium is a good way of investigating the water cycle, because essentially what happens is it creates its own little microclimate. And what we're going to do is we're going to make our terrarium in here. It's really easy, really simple, and then we're going to put in an apple seed and tape it all up. Okay, and later on down the track I'll show you another video of what's happening in my terrarium to see if anything's growing, and we'll see the mist and the fog in there, etc, etc. Okay, so first thing you need, okay, other than your plastic bottle, is you're going to need some gravel and some sand and some soil. So in this container here I got some river stones. Okay, you can use any kind of gravel you want. The reason why I'm putting gravel in here and sand is that creates irrigation. It's just the same as any normal piece of landscape. Okay, so you can see there, that's my first layer. Okay, I'm going to go really fast today rather than one of my long videos. And then I'm going to add some sand, and so like I said, it creates irrigation. So when I add the water layer, the water in on top of the soil and things like that, it's got something for it to seep into. And so the water isn't just sitting on top of a dirt layer. Okay, it's better for the plants too. Okay, because what we're trying to do is we want the water to evaporate and begin the water cycle. Okay, so the water evaporates, condenses on the lid, and precipitates back into the soil. Okay, and that's going to help the plant live. Okay, we'll put that over there. Okay, so in here I've just got some plain ordinary garden soil. It's dirt. It's got quite a lot of little bits of plant material and things in there. So I'm hoping what'll probably happen is, instead of just growing my seed, anything that's living inside the soil, like tiny plants, grasses, any seeds from weeds or something like that, that's going to grow too. And I don't care if weeds and stuff grow. That just means that my microclimate is working inside of my terrarium. So you can see there I've got quite a few layers. So we've got the gravel, sand, and then soil. Okay, to give that a bit of a tap, move this stuff out of the way. Now what I've got here, my seed that I've chosen to use, is apple pips, okay, or apple seeds. Now these are apple seeds straight out of the apple. Now I know that depending on where you get your apples from, in New Zealand we're not too bad, but some apples, and I hate to say it, can be genetically modified or altered so that the seeds don't actually grow. Okay, but I've got a variety of apples in here. I've got green, Braeburn, I think there's a Pacific Rose apple in here. So there's a couple of different varieties of apple in here, and basically by putting all these seeds in here, I've got maybe about 8 to 10. I've got a better chance of growing something. So I'm just going to cover those with some soil. Okay. I'm not aiming to grow an entire apple tree. That's not the idea. What I'm aiming to do is just see the seedlings growing. And that just shows that the microclimate that I've created inside my terrarium works. This is just ordinary water. Okay. Now I'm going to tip enough in there that it seeps into the soil. And I'll show you in a second. So, I don't know if you can see, but the sand is starting to go a bit darker from where the sand is absorbing some of that awesome water. Okay. And then from now, what I do is I just chuck the top on and I'm done. Now, what I can do, and what I'm going to do, is I'm going to tape the lid shut, and that's going to make sure that none of the water escapes out of my terrarium. Now you might be thinking, why would the water escape? The water's a liquid and it's down in the soil. Yeah, you're right. But the other part of it too is that when water turns into a vapor, I don't want it to be able to escape. And when it turns into condenses and turns into precipitation, I don't want it collecting on the outside of the lid and flying out the bottom of the container, because that's how I'm going to lose water as well. So I want to try and keep it as much inside the container as I possibly can. Okay, now you can do this with a jar. I've done a couple with a jar. I've got a whole bunch of them, but that's all I'm doing. Okay, so there's my terrarium. You can see that the sellotape's got it on there pretty solid. Okay, gravel, sand, dirt, some kind of seed. Capsicums work well, capsicum seeds. Bit of water, and then I'm just going to leave that to sit in the sun. Now I'll make a video later and you can see what happens. Okay? Give it a try. If you like this video or the channel in general, please hit subscribe, and I'll make some more content soon.